who's building in the UAE? Who's looking to move to the UAE, base their project here and build here? Anybody? No? Oh, there's one gentleman there, that's fantastic. And everybody else, where are you guys building at? Internationally? Not building yet? Internationally? Awesome. Which countries? No? US? Who's offshore? Who's in the Cayman, in the BVIs? No one? Fantastic. We'll all move you here to Dubai. I have no idea, just none of this, no. None of this. Danielle, sorry, can you help us? Yeah, I want it. It's okay, we'll find the presentation eventually. In the meantime, let me tell you about why UAE is the best place in the world, despite the traffic that we've all been seeing coming over here. I'm sure most of this room is stuck still in traffic. So UAE was one of the first jurisdictions to implement virtual asset laws in 2018. So while the US still, even last year, were trying to imprison founders, were sanctioning the code, who remembers what they did with the tornado protocol, right? They sanctioned the entire code. I mean, it's been overturned by the courts, which is fantastic, because as a lawyer, reading that was just absolutely shocking. How can you sanction a code? But, you know, US managed to do that. So while the US was prosecuting the founders, while the US was sanctioning the code, the UAE government was actually welcoming the builders, welcoming the founders, passing the laws and the regulations to... anybody's trying to find the presentation? No? Okay, it's there. And passing the rules and the regulations, welcoming the founders, especially during the pandemic, while the world shut down, Dubai said, no, we will stay open, we will continue doing business, and we will continue welcoming everyone. And we found the presentation, which is fantastic. With the Wi-Fi that we're having now, we'll probably take another few minutes. And oh, that is so fabulous. Thank you so much. What a service. Presentation and a coffee. While we're bringing this up, I'll introduce myself. My name is Irina Heaver. I'm the first crypto lawyer to start practicing in the Middle East. Since then, so that was in 2016 when my law firm was established to only service Web3 and crypto founders. And since then, we've advised over 250 projects. We wrote the actual laws and regulations on the Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, DeFi. We're advising multiple regulators in the region and also in Central Asia, in Eastern Europe, and absolutely delighted working with founders. This is our sweet spot. I love working with founders. As a former founder myself, I know how difficult it is to build, so we're doing our best to support you guys. Okay. What else can we talk about while the presentation is being downloaded? Is it your first time in Dubai? Oh, you guys live here. First time? That's incredible. And yourself? You live here? Third time? Wow, that's like so many new people. What about you, young man? You live here. That is fantastic. Who traveled all the way across the world, furthest away, to come here? Where did you come from, sir? That is a really long way away, that's for sure. Colorado is very far away. How's the skiing season this year? Was it good? Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's brilliant. I mean, we can ski in Ski Dubai here, so not the same, but you know, almost. Where did you travel from? Israel, whereabouts? Whereabouts in Israel? Tel Aviv? Fantastic. Several years ago, UAE concluded Abraham Accords with Israel, and they stopped the boycott, which is fantastic. We're all for peace, we're all for cooperation, we're all for doing business, we're all for, you know, running a coherent society that want to do business. So this is actually a very good development, and a lot of Emiratis were very happy about this because nobody wants disputes, everybody wants to run business. So today I want to talk about the Web3 and crypto laws and what does it take to run a business in the UAE if you're a crypto founder. No? How do I use it?
Next.
Okay. Which one? Okay. A quick disclaimer, this is for educational purposes only. If you have any questions, if you want to talk about your business, come and find me. I'll be very, very happy to let you know how you can do that here. So why Dubai? I've been in Dubai for 18 years. This is my home. I came here straight from Melbourne, Australia. I absolutely fell in love with this place and I'm not going anywhere. So 18 years and this is my home. And Dubai is named, first of all, top global destination for business, for travel. It's the second safest country globally. The UAE is the safest country globally. I mean, with all the mess happening in Europe, Dubai and the whole UAE is a really standout. And it's a prime hub for startups. Dubai has also been named the best city for expats. And what is really cool, and gentlemen in the US would probably agree, we have 0 personal income tax, but not for you, sorry. Uncle Sam would want your taxes. And we have 9% corporate tax, which is the lowest in the world, with a lot of exemptions. So you, of course, you can reduce your tax base. But setting up in the UAE and doing business in the UAE sounds really easy, but there's a lot of mistakes that I see people doing here. So I've been here a lawyer for 18 years and in the crypto space for 9 years, and we see the same mistakes. Like, nobody has surprised me yet. It's always the same mistakes. Operating without a proper legal structure. You cannot run business in the UAE without a legal structure. You actually need to receive a trade license or a business license, as it is called, to run a business. Did you know that UAE has 45 economic free zones? Who heard about that? 45 economic free zones. Like in US, if you want to get your company registered, you go to one place, a company registration house, or like a company house, as, for example, it's called in the UK, only one place. In the UAE, we have 45 plus 7 more plus 3 offshore. So we'll talk about all that excitement. Regulatory compliance. Some people think, still now, in 2025, some people tell me, oh, but I only run a crypto business. I don't touch fiat. Everything is on chain. Well, it doesn't matter. You still have to comply with the rules and regulations. Oh, but I don't touch fiat. No, the laws still apply to you whether you touch fiat or don't touch fiat. The laws apply to everyone. Skipping legal documentation, contracts. You hire a developer, you don't sign a contract, he runs away with your code, doesn't pass the IP, and we see this all the time. Or you hire a contractor without the terms signed, bad idea. It's very easy. Agree on the terms, sign it. Doesn't have to be a fancy 60-page contract prepared by a lawyer. Just agree who's doing what and how much will be paid and when. Just sign it, very easy. Wrong investment strategy. We see a lot of projects selecting wrong investors, and then they suffer heavily down the road. And the same with partners. You pick the wrong partner here in the Middle East, you're not going to move far. You need a partner who knows what's happening and happy to move you forward. So how would you do things properly in the UAE? First one is the business model. First of all, you have to decide what is it that you're doing. And if it is a regulated activity, for example, virtual assets, regulatory activity, if it's financial services, or if it's unregulated. Because if you start performing regulated activities without the necessary licenses from the regulators, there are fines and even a criminal liability for the founders and directors. So you have to be very, very careful. What do I mean by regulated activity? For example, if you're looking to run a centralized exchange, I think we all know that it's a regulated activity everywhere in the world, so why would it not be the same here, right? Or some founders come to us and say, oh, we want to start a neobank. Oh, fantastic, banking is a regulated activity, so let's see how we can help you. So you have to be very, very certain what is regulated and what is not regulated. And that is being defined in the business model. I think that's pretty obvious, but of course, when you're running a business, there can be some ambiguity. Are we doing this today, or how will we scale? So there's a roadmap also that can be built, a regulatory roadmap. These are the UAE regulators. It's not like any other jurisdiction. We have 5 regulators. 2 years ago we were 6, now we're 5, so things are getting better. We have federal regulators, central bank, and Security and Commodity Authority. So Security and Commodity Authority, that's our ESCOM, that's our SEC. I'm sure you all heard of SEC, Gary Gensler, so that's our version of SEC, but again, they don't prosecute founders, on the contrary, they're trying to help them. Federal regulator, central bank, they regulate stable coins. So if you're looking to launch a stable coin, central bank is your regulator. Everything else is Security and Commodity Authority. Then we have 2 financial free zones. Abu Dhabi Global Markets in Abu Dhabi, obviously, and the Dubai International Financial Center, DIFC. And they have their own regulators. Then we have in Dubai a purpose-built virtual assets regulatory authority. The very first in the world, the very first virtual asset regulator in the world was built here in Dubai 2 years ago. And as of today, they licensed 27 companies. So 27 exchanges, custody providers, broker-dealers, what else is there? Mainly. Some advisory and a couple of funds, maybe 1 fund, so they licensed 27 of them. For example, OKX, Binance, BitGo, so all the big players from all over the world who received their regulatory licenses from VARA. And you might think, why is VARA license so interesting? Dubai population is only 3 million people, right? Why bother? With this license, you can actually target Africa, Asia, India. So basically this license from VARA gives you access to 3 billion people. You cannot target Europe, you cannot target North America, but everywhere else it actually gives you the access to those markets. So it's a very interesting proposition. So when you thinking who to go with, so you see we have 5, right? We have 5 regulators. You need to consider what is the best regulator for you, depending on your business model. You need to map out your activities. You need to think about the timelines and the costs, because there's always a cost involved. You need to think which regulator is the best suited for your activity and go there. And the regulators are actually very easy. You can talk to them, you can meet with them. Next step will be setting up a legal structure. And the legal structure is basically forming a company. I'm sure you've all formed a Wyoming entity for $100 online. Unfortunately, we're not this cheap and not this quick. Things are taking a bit longer to establish your entity here. And also, if you're regulated, planning to run regulated activities, it will take a little bit longer as well. So plan ahead of time. Where will you set up this company, right? We have 45 commercial free zones. We have 2 offshore free zones, actually 3 offshore free zones, and 2 financial free zones. And each has specific rules regarding running a business and incorporation. If you're a crypto company, these economic free zones are the best for you. So you don't need to go through all the 45, just have a look at some of this. If you're running a financial business, then of course financial free zones are good for you. But if you're looking to set up a holding company, then the offshore jurisdictions are good for you. And we worked with all of these free zones. For some of these free zones, we drafted their regulations. Most of these free zones we advised on what a Bitcoin is, what a cryptocurrency is, starting back from 2016. Receiving a regulatory license will take up to 12 months, so plan ahead. So don't think, you'll submit your application and tomorrow you'll get something. Plan ahead of time. The question is, which activities will require a regulatory license? If you're planning to issue your own token or your own virtual asset, you will need to get licensed if you're planning to do it out of here. Also, stablecoin issuance will require regulatory approval. Broker-dealer, custody, exchange, lending and borrowing, management and investment, as well as transfer and remittances. So all sorts of financial services in relation to virtual assets will require a regulatory license. Then the next step would be to receive residency permits, because if you're planning to live here, if you're planning to reside here, you will need to receive your visa to work and live here, as well as the Emirates ID. And once you receive your Emirates ID, you can go and start opening a bank account, because opening a bank account is always required, even if you're only in a crypto company, even paying salaries for your employees, paying rent, fiat is still the way to go, whether we like it or not. People still have a misconception that UAE is a tax haven. We're not. You need to register for corporate tax. Even if you're in a free zone, you need to register for corporate tax, you need to do your filings, and you need to comply with the tax laws. As the American colleagues know here, breaking the tax law, that's how you end up in really serious waters. And of course, there is ongoing compliance. There are audits, there's tax filings, license renewals, you have to follow the data protection laws, you have to follow the crypto marketing laws. So, for example, who has a token in the audience? Anybody has their own token? Nobody has a token. But let's say you launch a token tomorrow. You can't just go and shill your token in the UAE promising 300% returns and all of that. That is actually contrary to the marketing laws, virtual assets marketing laws. And here are the marketing regulations. Who's a KOL in the audience? Any KOLs? So if you're a KOL, you're running your large YouTube channel and you want to tell anybody to, and you're trying to shill to your audience, you actually can't do that either, because the local regulators are trying to protect general population and your grandmother from aping into a token that just got launched tomorrow. There's some serious penalties, like 10 million dirhams, as well as in the Emirate of Dubai, there's additional penalty of 50 million dirhams, 15% of the annual revenue, or 300% of the profits gained. So it's really not worth breaking the marketing laws, because the penalties can be quite severe. We have a pro tip. If you're looking to run a compliance business, have a calendar, write down all the things you need to comply with, because honestly there's quite a few things it's easy to forget. There's one of the things that we've done, we've written the Founder's Guide to UAE crypto laws in partnership with the local regulator, in partnership with DMCC Crypto Center and a couple of other big players in the area. So it's absolutely free for everyone if you want to have a read how to run business and how to set up your business in the UAE. Welcome to the UAE. We'll be very happy to have you all here and have you build your startup and run your business here. If anybody has any questions, let me know. If anybody is interested to talk about your business in the Middle East, let me know. Thank you very much.